Hello to all Digimon Adventure gamers. Are you looking for a powerhouse Digimon that can carry your whole team? Well, today we're diving into a name that already sounds hot just from its title. Agunimon, the Flame Warrior, introduced in the game as having single target damage off the charts. In this video, we're going to break down every stat, every skill, and every soul spirit of Agunimon to answer the ultimate question. Is Agunimon really as strong as the hype says, and is he worth investing your resources to upgrade? And here's the best part. Right now, Agunimon is the reward for the first top-up pack worth 2,880 diamonds. But if you're playing through x7game, it's completely free. You can use the 648 CNY coupon you get daily to top up all the way to 6,480 diamonds, instantly unlocking Agunimon without spending a single cent. So, is this free character with insane damage really worth a spot on your team? Let's kick things off with the basic stat analysis. First, let me guide you on how to download the game. You'll need to download the x7game app first. I've left the download link in the description and comments. Next, open the app and go to the My section to log in. Use your Gmail to sign in, then x7game will send you a verification code to your email. Just copy that code, paste it back into the app, and your login will be successful. After logging in, select Game, then tap Search and type in Digimon Adventure to find the game. Finally, just hit Get or Download to install it, and you're ready to play. Agunimon is classified as an attack-type Digimon. From the very beginning, the developers made it clear what this character is meant for. Single target damage is off the charts. In other words, Agunimon was born to eliminate a specific enemy target as quickly as possible. From a storyline perspective, Agunimon wields the power of the 10 legendary warriors and embodies the guardian spirit known as the Firewall. This explains why, despite being a damage dealer, he still has a touch of defensive capability through certain later skills. Aperture Strebber 2, Basic Stat Evaluation. Even at level 1, Agunimon shows very impressive stats, perfectly suited for a DPS role. ATK 613. This is an extremely high stat for an early level Digimon. It confirms Agunimon as a true core damage dealer. HP 4797, DF 471. The low DF highlights Agunimon's main weakness. He is essentially a glass cannon, massive damage output, but very easy to take down if focused by enemies. Power 1294. Summary. Agunimon's stats immediately confirm him as a crucial DPS unit for your lineup. However, with weak defense, you'll need to protect him by pairing him with support or tank Digimon. Positioning is also key. Placing Agunimon in the backline ensures he can unleash damage safely without getting wiped out early. Agunimon comes with a really smartly designed skill set that's all about maximizing single target burst damage. Alright, let's start with his active skill, Fire Dragon Shatter Kick. This one is pretty straightforward at first glance. It targets a single enemy, but the interesting part is in the extra effects. There's a 10% chance that Agunimon boosts his own ATK by 6% for one turn, which means his damage just keeps climbing higher the more lucky procs you get. On top of that, there's also a 22% chance to stun the enemy for a turn. Now, that number might not sound too impressive at first, but trust me, when the stun lands at the right moment, it can completely turn the tide of battle. It makes this skill not just a normal attack, but also a tool to disrupt the enemy formation and open up huge opportunities for your team. Now let's move on to his ultimate move, Burning Salamander. And this is where Agunimon truly shines as a DPS monster. The raw damage here is insane, 480.08% plus 57.6 flat damage to a single target. That kind of scaling guarantees that any soft target, like enemy supports or fragile DPS units, can be deleted instantly. But that's not even the best part. Before dealing damage, Agunimon actually absorbs 15% ATK and 25% DF from the target. Okay, so what does that mean in practice? Well, he makes himself stronger while at the same time weakening his opponent, which is just brutal. especially when you're facing those tanky Digimon who usually rely on their defenses to survive. And here's the kicker. If you equip him with the Mirror Furnace, this absorption effect gets boosted even further, turning his ultimate into an absolute nuke that smashes through almost anything. But that's not all. Agunimon also comes with some really solid passive skills that help him scale over time and even provide small team-wide benefits. The first one, Complete Attack, is simple but powerful. It permanently increases his ATK by 6.02%. It's a steady, reliable boost that just makes him hit harder in every situation. The second passive, Heart of Elegance, kicks in as soon as he enters the battlefield. He immediately gains 24.1 ATK for himself, but more importantly, he reduces the DEF of all enemy Digimon by 0.072%. Now, that percentage might look tiny on paper, but remember, it applies to the entire enemy lineup. That means every single one of your allies who deals physical or fire damage gets to benefit from it, which makes Agunimon not only a selfish damage dealer, but also a sneaky little support for your whole squad. So when you put all of this together, you can really see the picture. Agunimon is a classic glass cannon. His damage is absolutely devastating. His ultimate can tear apart both squishy enemies and frontline tanks, and his passives give him steady scaling and team-wide utility. Of course, with his weak defense, he needs proper protection. He's not going to survive long if the enemy focuses him down. But if you keep him safe in the backline and let him unleash his skills, he becomes a truly valuable core DPS that can carry your team through some really tough fights. No Digimon, no matter how powerful, can shine alone without the right teammates and proper investment. And of course, Agunimon is no exception to this rule. All right, let's talk about bonds, because this system is absolutely critical if you want Agunimon to reach his full potential. Through bonds, he can unlock massive ATK boosts, and honestly, this is non-negotiable if you plan to use him as your main DPS. Every one of his key bonds gives him an extra 20% ATK, which is huge. For example, the bond Power Sanction with Star Beast and Gargamon, or Angelic Power with Greymon and Angemon, both add 20% ATK. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, imagine Agunimon with that extra 20%. Suddenly, his ultimate Burning Salamander turns into a real one-hit KO machine. So if you're serious about building him as your carry, you must invest in the Digimon needed to activate these bonds. Okay, moving on to Equipment Awakening. This is another area where Agunimon benefits a lot, both in fixing his weaknesses and amplifying his strengths. For example, Power of Radiance boosts his HP by 15%. And as we've already discussed, Agunimon is basically a glass cannon. So giving him more HP makes him more durable and lowers the chance of him being instantly deleted by enemy bursts. On the other hand, Power of the Demolitions Expert directly increases his ATK. This one is pretty straightforward, but fits perfectly into his role as a pure damage dealer. Now let's get into Star Awakening, which is where Agunimon really unlocks his true potential. Once he reaches higher star levels, he gains powerful passive upgrades that stay with him permanently. At 5-star, he unlocks Attack Evolution. This gives him a 7.5% bonus to personal damage, adds 62.5 points to his base ATK, and overall gives him a direct and noticeable spike in damage output. For anyone who wants to make Agunimon their main DPS, 5-star is the bare minimum you should aim for. But if you can push him further, things get even better. At 6-star, he unlocks Defense Guardian. This one increases his damage reduction DR by 7.5% and adds 62.5 points to his base DEF. And honestly, this is one of the most important defensive upgrades he can get, because DR is an extremely valuable stat. It helps him survive longer in tough PvP battles where burst damage is everywhere. So, in conclusion, Agunimon can only unleash his maximum power once he reaches at least 5-star and has his bonds fully invested. If you already have plans to push a DPS carry to 5 or 6 stars, Agunimon is an excellent candidate worth serious consideration. With the right support, equipment, and upgrades, he transforms from a fragile glass cannon into a powerhouse that can dominate fights and carry your team to victory. The Battle Soul system provides extremely important buffs, especially for a core DPS like Agunimon. Without the right setup here, you won't be able to unlock his full potential. Alright, Let's break things down and start with his 4 battle souls. The first one is Courage Battle Soul, which gives him an extra 240 rage at the start of battle. This is insanely valuable because it basically means Agunimon can unleash his ultimate, Burning Salamander, much earlier than most enemies expect. And if you've seen how hard his ultimate hits, you'll know why this is a game changer. With that early rage boost, Agunimon has the chance to wipe out an enemy carry right from the opening round, setting the pace of the entire match. It's the centerpiece of any speed-focused strategy. Next up is Spirit of the Wind, which increases the activation chance of skills across all game modes. This one directly supports his active skill, Fire Dragon Shatter Kick, and its 22% stun chance. By boosting skill activation rates, you essentially make his stun more consistent. And even though it's not guaranteed, having a higher chance of locking down enemies makes him far more dangerous and disruptive. Now let's talk about the defensive side. Agunimon also has Steel Soul and Thunder Soul, which both focus on increasing his survivability. Steel Soul boosts his HP in arena and cross-server arena battles, while Thunder Soul adds even more HP overall. And considering that Agunimon's biggest weakness is his low DF, these defensive battle souls are absolutely critical. They give him just enough bulk to survive those first few turns, which is especially important in PvP, where getting nuked early could mean losing your win condition. So when we put all of this together, what do we get? Well, Agunimon's role becomes crystal clear. He is a fast, single-target assassin. His priority is simple: use his ultimate as quickly as possible to delete fragile enemy Digimon, like opposing DPS carries, healers, or supports, before they even get a chance to act. Strategically, his absorption mechanic, which steals 25% DF from his target, makes him a nightmare for tanky enemies too. Against high defense Digimon, Agunimon doesn't just hurt them, he strips away their armor and then crushes them faster than most other damage dealers could dream of. In terms of team composition, Agunimon works best in lineups that focus on speed and survivability. You want allies who can boost his rage or heal him so he can spam his ultimate more often. You also want strong tanks who can soak up damage and keep him safe in the backline. Because remember, he's still a glass cannon at heart. If you can give him the protection and setup he needs, he'll reward you by wiping enemies off the board one by one. So, to wrap it up, with a skill set and battle souls that revolve around speed and devastating single-target damage, Agunimon proves to be a top-tier asset in both PvE and PvP. Whenever you need a carry to quickly clean up priority targets, he's exactly the kind of Digimon you want leading the... Alright, after breaking down Agunimon from his base stats, offensive toolkit, defensive mechanics, and even the speed-oriented battle soul system, here's what we can conclude. First, let's highlight Agunimon's golden strengths. His entire design screams speed and raw single-target power. His ultimate, Burning Salamander, packs nearly 500% damage, which is enough to obliterate almost any squishy enemy on the spot. On top of that, his unique armor-breaking mechanic, absorbing 20F and 15% ATK from the opponent, gives him a massive edge even against bulky tanks. And of course, thanks to the Courage Battle Soul, he can unleash his ultimate much earlier than expected, grabbing an overwhelming tempo advantage right at the start. Next, let's talk investment cost, and this is where things get exciting. Agunimon comes as the reward for the first top-up package worth 28 and 80 diamonds. For casual spenders, this is already a pretty good deal for a top-tier carry, but here's the kicker. With x7game's daily 648 CNY coupon policy, players can easily stack up enough diamonds, sometimes even up to 6480, to claim Agunimon without spending a single cent of real money. That means you're essentially getting a high-damage, tank-busting Digimon for free. The only real cost is your grind time to upgrade him to 5 stars, which is the minimum required to unlock his attack evolution. So, what's the final verdict? Is Agunimon worth it? The answer is a resounding yes. With his insane single-target burst, soft crowd control potential, and the unbeatable zero-cost acquisition, Agunimon isn't just good, he's a must-have. Any player, whether free-to-play or light spender, will benefit massively from having him as their main carry. So don't hesitate, slot Agunimon into your team and start funneling resources into him. The sooner you raise him to 5 stars, the the sooner you unlock his full destructive potential. Thanks for sticking around till the end of this review. What do you guys think? Does Agunimon fit your playstyle? Drop a comment with the team comp you're planning to build around him. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I'll see you guys in the next Digimon review.